responsible to be out of your parents' house.
I think your question should be what's wrong with Singaporeans.
Okay, let's now talk about abuse of foreigners.
No, I mean,
right?
kind of, it's a reflection also how the government has been, conditioning this nation. There's all this kiasuism. I think part of it also, I realize Singaporeans are always, must be first. I mean, we talked about it earlier on about self-centeredness. We always think about me first. Yes. So that, I think, is permeated down into the kind of like day-to-day dealing we are having. In terms of like rushing for something, putting pad of tissues on the table to chope seats, things like that. I think those to me are more serious than some of the cases. Yeah, I mean, there are very serious cases of maid abuse and all that, the employer, but I think are isolated cases.
Okay, we're going into the cause, which is very important. Why do Singaporeans behave the way they do?
Yes.
Whether it is violence or whether it is just inconsideration, selfishness. Okay? You touched on the fact that it's a whole culture of being kiasu, the competitiveness that has been encouraged.
Yeah.
Is that sufficient reason to behave the way they do? Are there any other reasons why Singaporeans behave like that?
Probably it's the stress level that most Singaporean families are facing now. Children's education, trying, job dissatisfaction, all this stress level, and I think most of it is also due to miscommunication. It's very difficult to communicate, to communicate with a maid. And mostly you realize that it's mostly the elderly that has got problem with the maids because they can't converse and they can't get the maid to understand. Right. So they get stressed out, and sometimes they go overboard and they did things that they shouldn't be doing.
One of the things that I always hear my parents talk about are the generations who have been working hard before my generation, the millennial generation, is that community spirit where they learn to support one another. Whereas in my generation, we seem to be so disconnected with one another. Relationally, we are disconnected. We do not know how to support one another. We think of me, myself, our entitlements, our privileges, rather than thinking for other people. And I think that has a part to play.
Why has this come about? Is it because of our educational system? Is it because of just a general sense of competitiveness? Why do you think, okay, let's say everybody has different degrees of stress, but why do Singaporeans behave in the way they do today, which you say you did not find in generations past?
I think part of it is upbringing, because I realize a lot of parents don't have time for the kids. A lot of social workers or counselor will tell you a lot of the cases is
you're blaming the parents now.
Yeah, and it's a true reflection of that. And some psychologists also highlighted the fact that today we're living in a world where kids are forced to grow up faster than they do. We call them the artificial maturity, and for part of the reason is because of technology. They get more information than we do during our time, and because of that, they gain more confident and they think they know better than our parents. or like our generation, but the interpretation of those information, they are not equipped with the faculty of thinking because they're really not adult, they're
Right,
kids.
right.
But then they will go out, and this is why it's so difficult to teach kids today. Teacher find it difficult because they say, you know, the teacher goes there and the kids don't listen to them because they think they know better than a teacher.
Are we then saying that the problem lies with the younger generation and not with the older generation?
I think
today?
it's cause and effect. I think the older generation has something to do with that because when the stress of life also then leads to the fact that they have no time for kids, and therefore the kids have to learn on their own, and therefore the upbringing itself causes a problem of the selfishness, and therefore they, you know, you see all this sort of social behavior the kids are now having, what we call the millenniums. You know, we're basically more selfish than what we are. Those kampong spirits are no longer here because they are not used to that. And this day, who actually even interact with our neighbors? We just
don't.
lock up ourselves, and the moment we
Yeah,
get back.
that's another big problem.
Yes,
You don't interact with each other, and then you don't even know who is your neighbor.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
feels so unnatural sometimes.
Hi, that's it, finish.